Hey knitters! Welcome back to Aro Knits and Purls. I am your host, Aro of Aro Knits and Purls. This is my channel where I talk about making and all the lovely things about knitting and yarn that I could possibly share. Hi! Thank you so much for watching my last video. So many of you left such lovely comments and sent such lovely messages, and it was really like, it made my heart feel all warm and fuzzy because I was really nervous about coming back to it for a lot of reasons, but the reception has been so warm and enthusiastic, which is really nice for me because I feel very enthusiastic about coming back and sharing my makes. This week's episode, I teased it at the end, or rather I spoiled it. We have a special guest today, our first ever guest, my husband. Yay! For those of you who don't know, I got married earlier this year, and I thought it would be really fun to introduce my husband Sterling to you guys in the context of knitting. We haven't been together for too long. I mean, this is our third year. Today, actually December 7th, is the anniversary of when we met, so our third anniversary. But he's been along on my making journey for a while now, so I thought it would be fun for you guys to see his experience of that making journey. I have a series of questions that I compiled. I put it in my Instagram stories, like, if you wanted to ask Sterling questions, what would you ask him? So I've compiled some of those for an interview. He's not super comfortable speaking on the camera, so I may have to do some splicing here and then. And you guys know, I'm not an editor. Like, I barely figured out that ding photo thing last time. I did miss one. I did miss maybe a couple, but it was like the last project, so I'm hoping most of you like stopped watching by that point. But I really tried. I really tried, okay? And I think one out of however many it was pretty good. Huh? But yeah, so I promise all of this stuff will be related to knitting. But at the very end, at the last 6 minutes of this video, will be our wedding video. If you guys were curious and wanted to see what our wedding was like and how I envisioned the day, executed and envisioned the day, like, please stick around or fast forward to the last 6 minutes because I am really proud of how beautiful that day was, and I would love to share it with you. But before I call Sterling in, I will get into what I am wearing. So what I am wearing, let me get a little bit close, is the Limoncello cardigan by Veronika Lindberg. I will say, I noticed last time when I showed like a reading things with letters, it flip-flopped it because I have it in selfie mode, because when I first started recording videos, I would have like strands of hair on my face and I wouldn't notice. But now it flip-flops the images. So I'm gonna figure out a way to flip-flop the image back to what it should be. But this is the book that this pattern is in, Knits to Wear by Veronika Lindberg. I love this book. It's published through Lane Publishing, and this book has so many patterns, so many, and it's all, not all, but it's majority garments, which, you know, you guys know I pretty much only knit garments. And I love this book. There's like 5 or 6 sweaters that I have in my queue that I know I want to make out of this, and this one was one of them. I knit this one in Woolberry Fiber Co. The colorway is Afford to Be Romantic. It is a blush pink, which I thought would be a really cute thing because I've actually knit this for my bachelorette party. Afford to Be Romantic is the colorway, and it's just like, it's Jane Austen inspired. It's a soft blushing pink, so I thought it would be like a really cute, like, blushing bride kind of thing. I call it my bachelorette trip because it really wasn't. Every year, my best friends, the Knitting PT and Kimchi & Co. and we take like a little girls trip. And since I was getting married this year, I said, why don't we just make our annual girls trip my bachelorette trip? So we went to Denver and we do what we always do, which is we eat good food, we knit together, we find a local yarn store or two, and we go home early. By 8 p.m. we're in our pajamas, watching Dateline or Forensic Files. My dream life, right? So that's what we did, and this is what my sweater commemorating that trip was. I can't say enough nice things about this sweater. It knit up so quickly because it was so engaging. So it starts in the back with short row shaping and the cabling and lace. So this little panel here is the lace. It was such a good pattern. I can't recommend it enough. I know I'm being repetitive now, but I really loved this. I love the way it fits. Again, I do the oversized. You don't have to. But I also found these cute little pearl buttons just online, and I love them. I think they add like that cute little pop of femininity. Like the pattern itself is already very feminine, but since I was going for a blushing bride look, it really made sense to go like a little bit over the top with the cutesy. But yeah, so that is what I am wearing. There will be other knits and makes to show you during this, and yarn. So stay tuned for while I figure out how to do this transition. Okay. And we're back. And hopefully I figured out a really nice way to edit that transition. This is my husband, Sterling.
Hi.
We have a list of questions. He actually hasn't seen the list. I asked my followers on Instagram, you know, send me questions that you would be curious to know from Sterling, and I have them compiled here. The only questions he knows were a couple homework assignments I asked him to do. So with that...
What are we starting with? Are we going to do the homework assignments or questions?
No, questions.
Oh.
They're incorporated in here.
Okay.
Okay, so...
And I won't look.
This is an interview with the knitter's husband. New husband, right? New husband implies there's an old husband. So, what did you think when I first told you that I was a knitter?
I think it was like you told me about two things like in quick succession, like that you were a knitter and then also that you were an influencer.
No, I did not use that word.
Pretty sure you
I
did.
hate that word. I think I said knitfluencer, and you probably heard it as influencer.
Which I think could be expected, considering I'm not a part of the knitting community.
Okay.
And when you first said that, I just kind of like internally like rolled my eyes, like, oh my god, like, because my boss at the time, like at the law firm that I was working at, wanted to become an influencer and had like a terrible podcast and like 500 like followers and was like real jazzed about it. And so I was like, oh great, that. But then, and so my first thought was the sweater that you were wearing was really nice. And so I was like, I should ask her like if she knit that. And then I was like, no, that's a stupid question. Like it's too high quality. There's no way she knit it herself. And then months later I asked you about that and you were like, no, this one I made myself. And I was like, blew my mind.
I did pull it up. So this is the sweater that I wore on our very first date. I've shared it on my profile before, but many years ago because this is an older knit. So this is the Hudson Valley Pullover by, let me get her name right, Amanda Tozzi. Everybody's linked in the description below. And the yarn is Camellia Fiber Company. Colorway is Rainbow Sprinkles. I've talked about this before. It's one of my favorite colorways of all time. This is Sylvia. You know Sylvia.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So she brings this colorway back every June for Pride Month and donates some of the proceeds to LGBTQ-friendly organization. And I really do love this colorway. It knits up so beautifully. Of course, I did hold it double with a mohair because I am who I am.
And I never would have guessed that the streaks are that long.
Yeah.
Because the little dots are so small.
Yeah. But it's so beautiful, right? Yeah, I try to get some every year, probably. Okay, so the next question is, what are your thoughts on the sweater curse?
Now that we're no longer beholden to that curse, I feel a lot better about it. At the time, didn't love it because you were knitting a lot of like amazing things and I was always really impressed by it. And then all of like everyone over the age of like 30 that I know that you met would be like, well, when are you gonna make me a sweater? And I'd be like, shut your damn mouth, because like not before me. Like, I want, like, you're not going to make a sweater for my boss before me. And so, but then I became very, like, I'm not a superstitious person, but a little bit. And so, once it was mentioned to me, I was like, no, we're following this, like, to the letter. And then at, where was it?
Flock.
Yeah, at Flock, I was, like, asking around, like, what everybody's thought was on the curse, and everyone was, there's different beliefs around it.
Yeah, so for those of you who haven't heard, there's something called the boyfriend sweater curse. And I guess if we're going to be gender neutral, not yet married curse, I guess. So the idea is if you knit your romantic partner a sweater before you are officially married and all that, it will inevitably, it's a curse, and it will lead to a breakup. I first told him about this when he was like, so when are you going to make me a sweater? I first told him about this and he thought I was lying. Like, you thought I was trying to get out of making you something. So then you asked like all my friends about it and they were like, no, it's legitimate. And then he switched to, oh, well, don't make me anything until we're married. Like, nothing. And I was like, first off, it's a sweater curse. So I can knit you a hat and a scarf and whatever.
And I do have a scarf and a hat.
Yeah, I forgot to grab that. And then one of my followers was like, oh, well, if you knit a strand of your hair into the project, that will break the sweater curse. So you can still gift it to them while you are unmarried. And I brought that to him and he was like, no, I don't want to risk it.
Well, what if like the hair gets out? Is it the charm against it is now lost?
I don't know. We didn't test it out because you didn't let me.
Yeah.
But I did start making him a sweater when we went to Flock in Seattle. And Flock, for those of you who don't know, it's an amazing yarn convention thing that happens in Seattle every year in the summertime. It's actually right where we got, right around when we got engaged. And that's a later question. But he picked out the yarn.
And that was a part of me asking around because like I was worried. I was like, at what level is the making the sweater? Like at what point does that start? And so I was a bit iffy about even buying yarn.
Yeah, he didn't even want to buy yarn. And I was like, no, I want to commemorate our engagement by picking the yarn that I will make your first sweater with. So this is Explorer Knits Snoqualmie Falls. It's actually really cute because Snoqualmie Falls is where he proposed. So it is meaningful in many ways.
And I don't even think I knew that when I picked it.
Yeah, you didn't.
Yeah,
I knew that.
I was like, oh, that's a good color.
Yeah.
I like that.
Or rather, the colorway is Snoqualmie. Pardon me, Snoqualmie. But Snoqualmie Falls is where he proposed. This is on Earthy DK. This is her 100% non-superwash merino. I've knit with this a lot. And the first sweater I am making him, I'm almost done-ish. This is the Ingrid sweater. The Ingrid sweater men. As you can see, it has a lot of different stitch types. Like it has these segments. So it's a really fun, engaging knit. I will say this is a real testament to how much I love you. Because I did a tubular cast off. Like, yeah. So a tubular cast off, which you don't know, or bind off.
I just know that it took like 3, 4, 5 hours.
It took literally 4 hours to do the tubular bind off, the entire bottom. And like the reason why I've stalled on this sleeve, on the first sleeve, I'm ready to bind off, but I've stalled on it because I know I will have to do the tubular again. And I hated it so much. But I love you, so I'm going to finish this for Christmas. But I really want you to understand, it took me 4 hours just to do the bind off. Okay, so that's what I'm making. It's the Ingrid sweater. I'm going to make a matching one in another colorway of the same base from Allie. Oh, it's by Petiteknits. And again, everybody's linked in the description below. But I really enjoyed working on this. It has a lot of fun techniques. It has a similar diamond motif to the Moby that I showed you guys last time. But yeah, that will be his first sweater. I've actually promised him a sweater every year for Christmas. And do you want to tell them about my other knitting friends? My knitting friends and their husbands, we did like a little like triple date basically. And when I said, yeah, but he'll only get a sweater a year. Tell them what.
The other 3 men there just lost their damn minds, and they're like, what? 1 a year? And every single one of them, I think, was like, I got one ever.
Yeah, and they've been married for like 5 years.
Yeah.
So I just want you to appreciate how lucky you are. Okay, so the next question. What is your favorite sweater of mine? So this is part of the homework assignment that I gave you.
And it was tough because you have so many. You have a lot. I think that's fair. And so I was trying to, I'm going through, the catalog in my head. And so the one that stood out the most was the one that had the buttons on it, and that's the one that I like the most.
Okay,
and I think you have
it. Do you want to pull it out of the bag?
Yeah. You present it. I don't know what I'm doing.
Okay, so this is the Match Cardigan by Caidree. The Match Cardigan. It's a simple raglan cardigan. The buttons that he's talking about are these really pretty floral shell buttons. God, the lighting makes it so hard to show. But it's these gorgeous shell floral buttons. And I guess this is your favorite. Is there a reason why other than the buttons are cool?
That's a big part of it, but also I like the color, and I like, as you look closer at it, the way that they're, because this would be another one with the streaks in it, right? The yarn itself.
So this is Purl Soho linen quill worsted. I really liked knitting with this, because it's linen, I expected it to be a lot more rough, but it's actually very soft. And the color he's talking about, the depth, is because it's slightly marled tweedy. I think that's what you mean.
Yeah, it makes it look kind of like stonewashed, and I think that looks cool.
Yeah. This would actually make a really good yarn for another sweater of yours one day. Yeah. Okay. So that's your favorite sweater of mine. What's your favorite yarn that I own?
So you were asking me which one was your favorite yarn.
Yeah.
And when I asked you about this one, and you screamed no, because you didn't want it. I don't know why, but it's hilarious. And I have no idea what you're ever going to use it for, but it's just the funniest yarn you own because it's huge. It's gargantuan. So, what would you make out of that?
So this is Hobbii, and the line is blanket yarn. So obviously, Sterling, I would make a blanket.
Well, I didn't read it.
Yeah, my plan is eventually I will use, and I have a bunch of these.
You have a bunch.
I have a bunch, and my plan is to make an actual queen or king sized blanket out of this. It is 100% polyester. It's this very fat yarn. But yeah, so I guess you just picked it because it was funny.
Yeah, it's hilarious. It's so thick.
See, I wanted you to do something serious, what your favorite color?
And I'm looking off to the side, you've got so many shades of so many very different pinks that I'd never be able to pick one from that.
I have so many other shades. You're being ridiculous. Anyway. Okay, so that's your favorite yarn from my stash. Mm-hmm. And I think you now have a better understanding. But when we first... Okay, so how much do you think a skein of yarn costs? And not one of these skeins. Think one of the ones I just threw down.
Yeah, because I bought that and I still don't really remember. I think it was for 2 of them. It was I don't know, was it $35?
For 2 of them?
Or no, just the one? I have no idea. Okay,
so when we first started dating, I asked him for fun. I was like, how much do you think one of these costs? It doesn't have a price tag. Okay. I was like, how much do you think one of these costs? He's like, I don't know, $5. And I laughed so hard. The going rate in the United States for a skein of hand-dyed yarn, $30.
Okay, so it's pretty...
You were close, yeah. But I just want to put it into context, how off you were.
Oh yeah, I had no idea. But that was after spending an entire day wandering around Flock and seeing others.
Yeah, now you see. What is your dream sweater I would make for you? And you can describe it.
I think the first thing that pops into my head, I don't spend a whole lot of time thinking about my favorite sweater that you could possibly
You've asked me before.
But there was one that you showed me where I think it was it's white. For some reason, the picture that I have in my head, the model's wearing a nautical hat. It's out on the ocean, and it's has really thick cabling on the front. I think that would probably be my favorite.
So the inspiration, I think what I've shown you is like Aran fisherman's type of pattern. And I'm going to have an example that goes, move over to the side. Here. Ding. That'll be the example photo. No, you got to move more.
Okay.
So they can see. Ding. That's what it'll look like. Basically just a thick, chunky Aran sweater in white. And the inspiration would be Chris Evans' character in the first Knives Out movie.
Yeah.
He had a beautiful white Aran sweater. And actually this is a surprise, I did buy yarn already to make you next year's Christmas sweater. Yes.
Oh, that's rougher than I was expecting.
Okay, so this is from 13 Mile Yarns, and it is made with organic wool, certified predator friendly. Have no idea what that means. I guess it means they don't kill wolves, or I don't know. Is that still a problem? But
where was it? Does it say?
It's 100% wool, and yeah, it's Montana. They're based in Montana, so maybe they do have a wolf.
It's probably yeah.
Oh, they have this really cool like booklet. I haven't read this clearly, but basically it is like they work with like Keystone Conservation of Bozeman, and they work to identify wolves in the area and not hurt them to maintain these sheep, and that's really cool.
That is really cool.
But that's the yarn. It's white, and the thing with wool is it is tough to work with. Like unprocessed wool, it's a lot more rough. They call it toothy. It's toothy. But it does soften up, especially after you block, and especially with a cable pattern like this, you have to block it. Just get it wet, lay it flat. That's all I'm asking. But yeah, so I will make you your dream sweater probably next year, because you only get one a year, and that's still generous.
Yeah, very generous.
That's still generous. Okay.
You could do it like every other year, and I'd still be head and shoulders above every other man.
Do you know how to knit? And if so, could you show us?
No. And if you wanted me to skip to the part where I show you.
Yeah, demonstrate how you would knit.
Well, I made the joke because...
And bring it up close so they can see.
I don't think it's going to matter. I'll do it far away and close. And,
okay.
And they can tell us in the comments which one was more helpful. So you were knitting. I think I had just chopsticks. Mm-hmm. And so I just started doing... And I was like, Ara, who am I? This is you. I'll do it close so they can see.
That is what it sounds like.
That is what it sounds like.
What it sounds like. This is a pop quiz for you. Why should you wait to wind yarn before you use it?
Because the tension loosens the structural integrity of the yarn.
Yeah, so we have, this is a skein. This is a cake. When it's in a tight cake like this, the yarns, the fiber is compacted. So the idea is that it would degrade the fibers over time if it's left in this shape for too long. So you passed.
That was really cute when I said structural integrity. Your eyes lit up and you're like, you remembered.
Yeah. What do you think about mohair fluffs getting on everything?
I think it just kind of comes with the territory. It's like your hair. Like your hair gets everywhere. But I don't care. You have beautiful hair that I really like. And so if a small price to pay is like seeing errant pieces of hair. Same thing with the sweaters. Like your sweaters are all beautiful. It's something that you're really passionate about. And so if part of it is just having a little bit on stuff, like that's not a big deal.
It's a lot of it. Let's be real. It's a lot of it.
I was being kind.
And what's funny is when I do like a really strong color, like a red or a pink, you'll see it throughout the house everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, like my dark black overcoat, I think it's also wool. And so it just soaks up everything. So between like Mabel hair all over everything, Gandalf hair all over everything, that's our cat, not the wizard from The Lord of the Rings. And then the bits of yarn just floof, like hanging through the air. Mm-hmm. Being able to like lint roll that stuff
it's tough.
Yeah. Necessary.
Okay, so between mohair and suri, which do you prefer? And mohair,
I have no idea.
Of course you don't.
Well, remember when
this.
Do you remember what I used to call mohair?
Mole hair.
Mole hair.
Yeah.
Like a mole. Like.
Which do you prefer?
Not this one.
This one, the mohair. Okay.
Wait, this feels softer to me. Am I wrong?
So people differ on this. Some people think suri is softer. I prefer mohair. And I'm not exactly sure, like, I'm not a fiber nerd. There are plenty of people who will talk about this way more than I will, but I always prefer mohair. I think it has a nicer shine. I think it has like a fluffier, like a softer halo, and suri just looks a bit more matted to me. And so while, you know, I'm wearing suri, I like suri. If I have a choice, I'm always going to pick mohair.
It's smoother.
Yeah, and you know how I feel.
About smooth? Yes.
Smooth.
Yes,
I like things smooth. Yeah, for OG followers, they'll recognize that. Yeah. I haven't done that in a while. But, okay, so what would you say is your top tip for living with a knitter?
Oh, the one thing, actually, I just thought of this. The one thing that shocks me all the time, growing up as a millennial with a Nintendo and a Sega, I would just throw the controllers into our little basket, and then when you pull one out, it's all tangled up. And so that always blows my mind, because you'll just throw your yarn in the bag, and then later, like, I've never seen, except for on a few rare occasions, I never see you having to, like, untangle it. That shocks me. So, like, that would probably be my biggest thing, is, like, when I see it there, I just assume that it's something wrong with me. I don't know how to bundle it up correctly, and so I just let you take care of that. Or I'll, like, gingerly hand you, like, the cake and be like, it's stressing me out, it's getting all over the place.
I love that you called it a cake.
Tangled.
I love that you called it a cake. You learned so quickly.
Yeah.
I
don't know, was that a good answer to that question?
No, that was a great answer to the question. So the tip would be to move yarn gingerly?
Yeah, and, like, lean into it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's something that makes you really happy, and you're really good at it, and it's enhanced our relationship, because, like, I'll play video games, you'll be knitting, and it's a thing that we still get to do separately, but together, and that's a lot of fun, because then, like, as you make progress, you'll show it to me, and then as I make progress in my video game, like, I'll point out, like, the scenes or whatever it is that is happening.
Yeah. So. And I will say, Sterling has been here, you know, you've been with me for 3 years, so you've heard a lot of my moments where I'll be knitting, just like might be minding his own business, and next time I'll just be like, God damn it, and I'll just start ripping out all angry. And
well, I've learned the terms, like you put a sweater that has made you mad into timeout.
Yeah, they're in timeout, and then only when my ire has cooled will I go back to them. Sometimes I never go back to them until it's like 3 years down the line. So I guess it is like my ire has cooled with them. But
and maybe this is a controversial ask, but like, how many projects do you currently have in timeout right now? I don't know. I'm honestly curious.
In timeout, none. I have no ire. They know what they did, and I'll get back to them when I'm good and ready. But in terms of actual whips, I probably have 5 sweaters I work on at a time, and I'll just like switch back and forth, whatever. And by at a time, I mean within the span of a week, I will touch 5 projects. If you're asking how many unfinished projects there are in my possession, we're probably talking upwards of 35.
Wow.
Yeah. So like that's
Where
when
are they?
they're all spread out, they're all hidden. I don't like clutter. You don't see them. You would have no idea.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I rarely come in here.
Yeah. But yeah, so thanks for participating in this interview. I hope that the followers get a sense of you. Again, at the last 6 minutes of this episode is our wedding video. So if you didn't stick around during this whole talk for the 6 minutes that are left, you should really watch our wedding video because it made me so happy.
Yeah, it's great. It looks really cool.
Okay. Well, thank you for participating, Sterling. I love. And thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys next time. And next episode, I'm going to get into something a little bit different with my yarn. I'm going to talk about weaving. Okay. Bye, you guys.
See ya.
A few months before the 4 of us were set to meet up in Seattle, Sterling reached out to my wife and I and let us know that he was going to propose and asked us if we could be there to photograph the moment. Eventually, the plan came together, and it centered around one important element: waterfalls. Whenever they traveled together, Aro and Sterling would try to find waterfalls nearby. Sterling found the perfect waterfall a short drive from Seattle, and the plan was set. We'd pick them up, head out to the falls, have them pose for a picture, and romance would ensue. But we got there, we found the path to the falls, made our way down the boardwalk, the sounds of the rushing water getting louder as we went. We came around the bend where the path to the waterfall would be and stopped. Instead of a walkway leading to the base of the falls, we were met with a closed-off observation deck way farther away than we thought. I looked over at Sterling and could see the disappointment on his face. Months of planning, all shattered in an instant. So we take a few pictures of the falls, trying to pretend that everything is just fine, and immediately start looking for other options. While Reshma and I are trying to distract Aro, Sterling is furiously searching on his phone for another waterfall, which turns out was about 2 hours away. Because of how much he loved her, he wanted to give Aro the perfect proposal. At this point, Aro is starting to sense that something was up. She could see how upset Sterling was that we couldn't get closer to the falls. She said we had a great view from where we were, and getting closer wasn't that big of a deal. Because of how much she loved him, she wanted to give Sterling the perfect day. As we made our way down the path away from the waterfall, Sterling found a good spot for our photo shoot and suggested we take a few pictures. That's when my wife and I knew the proposal was about to happen. Halfway through our photo shoot, Sterling got down on one knee, and I'm pretty sure we can all fill in the blanks given that we're, at their wedding. While the proposal was incredibly romantic and picture perfect, that's not why I wanted to share this story today. More than anything, when it counted most, both Aro and Sterling realized that it didn't matter where they were, but that they were together. That's what matters. We can all plan down to the minute, but life has a super fun way of taking a few twists and turns to make all of our meticulous calculations and predictions completely worthless. All that leaves us is who we surround ourselves with, who we let into our lives, who we share our complete selves with. And in that moment with Aro and Sterling, that's what came through. All that mattered is that they were together, sharing a vulnerable, honest moment, just like they are now.
My dearest, my darling Sterling, when we met, I had no faith in romantic love. I never wanted to feel vulnerable, to do the hard work, and learn another person so well that I could never imagine life before that knowledge. But that was me before you. From almost the moment we met, you and I, this day has felt inevitable. Loving you feels so natural. It's like coming home or knowing my own name. But one of the most important things I've learned in the years we've shared is that wanting is not enough. A relationship, a partnership, and marriage takes effort and vulnerability, things that I never wanted to give to anyone until I met you. To our most challenging days, I will never take you or the life we've built for granted. Our relationship is to nurture, accommodate, and appreciate. In every version of you that's to come, I will grow with you. Like every day since we met, I will fall in love with you all over again. In a million lifetimes, I would choose you. Sterling Robert Swank, Esquire. I love you forever. With my whole being, I'm so excited to be your wife.
You're still the one for me.
I don't believe in fate, but there's something about meeting you that has always felt preordained. I spent 35 years of my life waiting for you. I didn't know that's what I was waiting for until it happened. Then on a snowy night in December of 2022, I saw the most beautiful woman walk into a downtown gastropub, and my life has forever been changed for the better. In all the dates that followed, I felt myself falling harder and harder for you. That has never stopped. I love you more every day. Our relationship is well suited to the definition of a whirlwind romance. But it's also been the most natural and organic thing I have ever experienced. And I am struck by the fact that every step I have taken, every decision I have made, the mistakes and the triumphs have led me inexorably to you and to this day.
You're still the one for me. You're still the one.
Aro, you are the love of my life, and I cannot imagine being here with anyone else. You make me happier than I ever thought possible. I vow you will always have all of me. I give you my love, I give you myself, and I promise to cherish every day from now until forever.
And now, the moment we've all been waiting for, you may kiss.